in the shadows. He'll send us in to find them.
Watcher to 6 actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
All right, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Oh, I don't even have restream up. Give me a second, guys. I can't read what everybody's saying. All right, we got blue shields in the chat. I don't know what that means. Whew. God, what a day. Oh, God, some good water. All right, let me see what's going on with this chat. What's going on with this chat? We got quite a few things. It's post not clarity. What's going on? Good evening, brother. All right. We got quite a few people. We got to let everybody pile in really quick. Let me make sure that I am live everywhere that I need to be live. All right. So I think I'm good on Restream. Let me check up on my bitches on BitChute. Where are you? There you are. Give me one moment, you guys. I got to make sure everything is good. Everything is running the way that it should. We got quite a bit on the docket. We're going to go hard. We're going to go really, really hard. We're going to talk about this this poor little girl. All right. All right, yeah, so we're good on there. Let me make sure Rumble is Gucci. Yeah, we got to talk about this little pizza girl over in North Carolina who got murked by some fucking dindu. And I try not to swear, but, dude, I just can't help it, man. I'm just so angry. All right, Rumblers, we are rumbling. All right, good. All right, we're everywhere we need to be. Perfect time today, the rest of the day off. I don't know what that means. Friedrich Marsh, you are typing too quickly, I assume, but I'm just going to pretend I know what you mean and agree with you. Man, I don't have my chapstick with me. Well, my lips are going to get all crusty and ashy. It's going to be nasty. I'm sure I'm going to get made fun of in the chat for that one. Let me see. Let me make sure we got our... got to do my spiel. Oh, whoops. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining me on another exciting episode of the Watchfrogs. We go live every Monday or Tuesday night on the Watchfrogs channel, which is home to the Fake Crimes docuseries, a variety of other videos, and, of course, the Watchfrogs podcast. You can enjoy the show live on a variety of platforms like BitChute, Rumble, Trovo, dlive, Kick, Twitch, X, formerly known as Twitter, and YouTube. For those who prefer an audio-only experience of the show, you can head over to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else where podcasts exist. Links are in the description. If you wish to support the show and help keep the Watchfrogs independent, feel free to head over to my Subscribe Star page, Locals page, or perhaps toss a generous donation in my Cash App. You can also Super Chat. All Super Chats are read and very much appreciated. Once again, links are all in the description wherever you may be enjoying the show. Guys, I appreciate every single one of you being here on a Tuesday night. There's quite a bit of news. It's going to be a really light show. It's going to be a really light show. By the way, I got a haircut. I'm not a long hair anymore. I had to cut it because it's getting cold. You know, it's not hot anymore, and I just want to cut my hair because long hair in the winter is like not a good time, especially after the gym. You know, after I'm done working out, I get showered, then I hop on the bike, and I'm heading to the warehouse, and my head is freezing. Even though I wear like a balaclava and stuff, like it still gets uncomfortable. So I am a short hair for the rest of the winter. So let's get some H's in the chat for handsome. Oh fuck, my keyboard just fell, or my stream deck just fell. Hold up, gotta fix this. All right, am I still good? Am I still live? Okay. Shields mean the brothers are on the wall protecting the good folks. Thank you, Post Not Clarity. MTMG writes, your lips look like my little niece forgot to take the skin off the shrimp. Gross. Cannot wait to see you simp for a traitorous wench. Watching the Reichsberg over it is funny as fuck, since they are enablers via in action. Dude, guys, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna have a discussion. It is gonna be the first topic of tonight, and then we're gonna go lighthearted because I don't want to bring down the mood with this. I'm gonna be called a simp, I guess, for defending this girl, but we need to get warmed up. So our good friend Zoran Mamdani, the foreigner from Uganda who's only been here for like 5 or 6 years, who's going to become the mayor of New York City. Well, let's hear what he has to say about crime. So right now, crime is all the rage in the political sphere. People are very sick of it. So let's just hear what she has to say.
Thank you. Are prisons obsolete?
Whew. Coming through with the quotes, coming through with the titles of the books. I have to read that, actually. I haven't read that as yet. But I think that, frankly, I mean, what purpose do they serve? Right? I think we have to ask ourselves that, which is that, you know, I think a lot of people who defend the carceral state, they defend the idea of it and the way it makes them feel.
Well, yeah, I have quite a bit to say about this. It's obsolete. And what purpose does it serve? You're running for the mayor of New York. Not the safest place in the world. It is incredibly dangerous over there in that city. And you're asking the audience, I guess this is, what's it called? A rhetorical question that doesn't really, that basically isn't answered in and of itself, I guess. What purpose does it serve? It's quite simple. To keep violent ghetto thugs away from sane individuals who are not predisposed to criminality. Look, a lot of dumbasses who do political commentary and so-called analysis, these fake analyst people like Brian Allen, who's a total phony, by the way, they're like, oh, dude, the GOP's screwed. You know, the midterms are a wash. Well, first off, the midterms are over a year away. So no, I don't foresee that being a thing. But with the aftermath of this murder in North Carolina, it's pretty obvious how this is going to go. This is Lincoln Riley 2.0. I mean, there were a handful of situations in 2024 that essentially got Trump over the finish line. The vicious, violent murder and deaths of Peanut the squirrel, Fred the raccoon, Lincoln Riley, and there were a handful of other individuals who perished. Our beautiful Corey over in Pennsylvania when the internationalists tried to assassinate our beloved president, or at the time candidate Trump. Those were like pivotal moments in the election that ended up radically changing the trajectory of our history and the future, to be more precise. And I think we're going to see a little bit of that based on everything that's happened within the last 48 hours on the internet. This murder was horrific, and I don't really, you know, I hate to bring this person up, but I replied to her on Twitter. This Brittany Venti character, you guys know who I'm talking about. She's kind of a fun personality to goof on, and I replied to something that she wrote. Let me see if I can find it really quick. There's quite a bit going on here. Let me see. I'm making fun of David French. David French is a total pussy, by the way. I can't stand that guy. I can't even stand the fact that that he's as popular as he is. Let me see. Where are you? Where are you? I'm gonna find it. Let me see. Where, okay, so I guess I'm a little bit more down in this response to Brittany Venti, because she asked a very interesting question about why this is so horrific for her to witness, and so many of us too. So we all saw the same thing, and I think the general consensus is that we're all pretty horrified, for lack of better words, as to what transpired on that train. And I mean, dude, there's so many fire takes. So here's okay, so let's go ahead and put it up on the screen here. So Robin wrote, I am so desensitized to seeing violence on my timeline. It hardly stirs me anymore. It almost feels fictional and unreal at times, but the videos of Arina Arena has broken me clean open this morning. I'm beside myself. I've realized how closed off my heart has had to become to cope with this reality. Watching the video over and over with increasing detail every time we get a new angle has shattered me this time. We saw the clip of her devastating final moments, but what was a real person who had a whole life. She was someone's baby, and it all ended in an ultra-violent, senseless, and preventable spectacle. We cannot let it be in vain. We cannot go on like this. Something has to give. So Brittany Venti writes, seriously, why was her death so horrible? So, of course, I responded. And I tried to give an explanation because I thought really hard about this. This is what your brain saw. Your brain, our brain, you know what I mean. They saw a tiny little girl, almost childlike, with a hat. She was in her uniform. She was a pizza girl at a little pizza joint. We saw a towering ghetto-ass dindu hover over her and snuff the life out of this tiny, harmless woman who probably couldn't hurt a fly or bench press an iPhone. We saw parts of ourselves in that little woman, a working-class woman trying to get by, doing everything right, only to get killed by one of the Democrats' pets. Violent crime is this vicious. It happens fast, and it's common, I was going to say common around the country, or common around certain types of groups, but it's not too often we see this scenario play out in HD video. And it's even worse knowing the Democrats tried to cover it up. We are all just so fucking tired of the Dems and their violent dogs terrorizing us. I mean, it's really what it boils down to. It's like we see this girl and we can all easily place our feet into her shoes. And we can imagine, I mean, how many of us have been in situations where we are completely exposed, minding our own business, not hurting anybody, just trying to go about our day, just trying to make money. And, you know, our lives could end as quickly as the pizza girl. It could end that quickly. She was just sitting. I can't show images of it. I'm not going to, or play the video or anything like that. It's too horrific, and I really don't feel like watching it. I mean, it was something that I was just not ready to see. And I've seen some really horrible stuff on the internet, guys. I've been on the internet since I was a little babby in the 90s, and I feel like I've seen it all. And the unfortunate reality about crime in the United States is that, like, it is far too common. The kind of violence that has plagued this country, unfortunately, has met this young girl, this young refugee from Ukraine. And again, the only difference is, like, we get to see everything. We see everything. The moment she got into the situation, the moment the guy got up, and the moment he decided to viciously and violently attack her, and then walk away with the blood dripping everywhere. It is insane. And it happened really, really, really fast. So it's not like in the movies where, like, you know, it's all slow-mo and the guy has a blade and the blood is flying everywhere. Like, that's not reality. That's just not how blood works, really. So we all got to see it. And, again, this is one of those situations that is very pivotal in determining how the country is going to operate in the future. George Floyd, unfortunately, was one of those situations as well, where he, you know, in my opinion, based on the evidence, the Hennepin County's medical examiner report, the guy OD'd, but it looked like he was murdered by Derek Chauvin, viciously and cruelly. And it didn't help that he looked like an asshole. It didn't help that he looked indifferent to this man's passing, if you will. And it changed the trajectory of the country. It was in part, you know, somewhat responsible for the downfall of Orange Man in 2020, even though the election was rigged. It was responsible for the surge of anti-police rhetoric, which resulted in the defunding of the police all throughout the country. And that sort of rhetoric, it resulted in a lot of tough guys refusing to answer the call and to protect their state, to protect their communities, to protect their cities, etc. It changed everything. George Floyd essentially became a saint of the United States, an unofficial one, of course. This guy was praised and hailed as a hero by virtually every single douchebag celebrity in Hollywood. We were sold a phony baloney narrative about this man and his life. You know, this guy was a vicious, convicted felon, a violent a career criminal. And he was celebrated as if he was Mother Teresa. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. But this tops it, of course. And the Lake and Riley thing probably would have had the same effect had there been more video, had there been more evidence. The few videos that we did see of the Lake and Riley situation was police cam footage informing the family of what happened to Lake and Riley, and it was just heart-wrenching. It was really, really difficult to watch. And now this situation, from my understanding, the Democratic Party was trying to conceal the video, and the video ended up leaking. So it leaked out in bits and parts, and there's certain places where you can find the full thing. And they try to conceal it, and now everyone's trying to blame each other. I mean, the Democrat establishment, they're trying to blame each other. They're trying to make excuses, and some of them have even come out and they're like, "Well, Trump is wrong on on this criminal case, and he's out of line, and he should have been given mental health treatment or whatever." And I responded. Again, I have clinical experience, and I've worked in the ghetto professionally, of course, working with victims and stuff. And there's a lot of homeless people where I worked. And the majority of the homeless population, I think in general, really, at least in the United States, these people, while they may be a nuisance and whatnot, they're virtually harmless. They would never harm anybody. And they do deserve compassion, and they do deserve help. And these people aren't violent. They really shouldn't be feared for the most part, even though I understand why people would be afraid of them or afraid to be around them. But this guy, Mr. Brown, I don't know how to say his first name. It's a stupid name. It's one of these stupid names like DeCarlos or something like that. Yeah, he may have had some mental things wrong with him. I guess you would have to be mentally ill to want to cowardly stab a little girl from the behind who's defenseless and who didn't do anything to you. But it looked to me like a conscious decision, and this guy made utterances about targeting her for the color of her skin. So I see elements of a hate crime here, potentially. Of course, the feds have been investigating this since day one, according to FBI Director Kash Patel and Harmeet Dillon, who runs these the Civil Rights Department of the DOJ. She's chimed in, and she appears to be on our side, so I'm very glad to see that the Trump administration is stepping forward in defending this victim and saying her name when the cowardly line press, the Lugan press, refused to do so. I mean, the line press has no credibility. They have no credibility, none whatsoever. And I thought to myself, they can't get any lower than this. They can't get any worse. And every year or every other horrific story like this, I get proven wrong again and again and again. I guess that's what I get for giving them the benefit of the doubt. But they are, instead of talking about crime and the link between action and belief and why these things occurred and talking about the policies that brought about the demise of this little girl, they're blaming Orange Man. They're blaming the incels. They're blaming the chuds. They're blaming the frogs. And I'm just sick of it, and I don't think anybody's buying it. I feel like this story has radicalized people in a way that I just never could have imagined. The way that COVID's, the scamdemic, ended up radicalizing so many people, myself included. The haters would have you believe that I was radicalized by Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, Trump, Mein Kampf, and all this other nonsense. None of that is true. What radicalized me was the dancing TikTok nurses. It drove me fucking crazy. Even worse so, everything was just so fake, and it was so obvious to me, and it drove me nuts that nobody else saw it the way that I did. And I was 100% right. I've been right about a lot of stuff, and the whole point of doing the show, doing analysis and commentary, is to be correct about how things are going to play out in the future. And I'm going to spin it for you really quick, but I'll probably circle back to it again when relevant. But I think the Democrats are completely fucking hosed in the 2026 midterm election. This is going to be one of them. President Trump right now is sending in his goons all throughout the U.S. and all these Democrat-run cities to expel the illegal alien menace that has plagued this country. And, of course, these Democratic governors like J.B. Pritzker and other woke Democrat mayors, they are opposing this. And they are doing this after this blew up in everybody's face, this North Carolina train attack. I think they're toast. A lot of people are seeing it too. The polling is kind of irrelevant. It doesn't matter how unpopular people think the Democrats are. Granted, they are unpopular, but partisan politics, these elections, they generally play out 50-50, split down the middle. And really what's going to make or break these elections is who can get out, if the Republicans get out get out more voters, or if Democrats can suppress the vote. And, if apathy prevails, then the Democrats are going to win, because low propensity voters favor the right at this moment in time. Low propensity voters, meaning libertarians, disaffected Bernie bros, independents, suburban types and whatnot, low propensity voters, people who are just not likely to vote. But if you can get them to come out and vote in large numbers, you're going to win. And right now that's Republicans. The Democrats don't have a coalition. They don't have a coalition. Right now, as it stands, this is the Republicans' midterm to lose. So there are some high-profile elections going to be going on at the end of the year in November. New Jersey has a gubernatorial election. It's closing. They're closing the gap. And again, the GOP is smart, and they're really smart about school choice. They're smart about the crime, and they support the MAGA agenda. They support MAHA, medical liberty. It's going to be a wash. Ma'am Donnie, being the soft on crime, anti-police, Bolshevik, commie, rat boy, soy guy that he is. I don't want to say it's possible, but I feel like we're now at a point where we could lean towards Ma'am Donnie losing this thing in this election. Winsome Sears in Virginia, it's possible maybe that she wins. It's not very likely that Trump is going to endorse her. I would recommend that he doesn't intervene and let the Republicans lose where they have to. Maybe help out the guy in New Jersey, because he's a Trump guy, but this looks really, really bad. And the Democrats are not doing themselves any favors. We're going to look at some of the responses from some of these high-profile individuals. But before we do, let me go ahead and read some of these comments. Oh, God. Let me see. All right. So, Friedrich Marx, why is that girl a traitor? How dare you? The Dindu was defending America from that war-fleeing coward immigrant only feeds the right's enemies narratives. The right should be defending the man of color who stopped an immigrant stealing a job. Ukraine sex workers are in direct competition with whatever. You want him to win. You want New York to be sacrificed to wake up normies and for the memes. Look, I do kind of want him to win, just because it'll be a lot easier to defeat the Democrats in November of the midterms. But it's just I don't know, man. Like, I just don't feel like people should be subjected to the cruelty that this poor refugee girl endured. That's a horrible fate to wish on anybody. MTMG gets it. Gay for cheese. She should have stayed in Ukraine, working class, service class. Jesus Christ. George banging the cop's ex-wife was pretty base, though. I don't know what you're talking about. Dancing women drove Giovanni to become a radical. Facts. Literally, it really did. And dude, I don't know what it was about the dancing. It was the choice of the shitty music. It was their horribly attempt to synchronize the dance moves, whatever the fuck they were doing. And then there were men doing it too. And then the weird, when they do the weird step thing, it drove me, it made me get violent thoughts. I got very violent thoughts watching those videos, because what I saw on display was a demonic ritual. It was nearly satanic, and it was just pure evil in the form of shitty dancing. And now I understand why the church did not want anybody why the church leadership didn't want anybody dancing between the pews. Okay, they didn't like the dancing was forbidden. Okay, dancing was a sin to some degree. Granted, I like taking out my girlfriends to go dancing, but we're doing it in the nightclub and in darkness. We're not doing it in public to sway public opinion. It's a sickness. It gave me sick thoughts. There was a picture on Twitter of her laying in a room that had Black Lives Matter poster on the wall. Yeah, Zombie Bomb, that is true. And it appears to have been corroborated by the people over at Red Ice TV. And I thought a lot about that. And I know in the past that I've said, like, if these people want to support wokeness, if they want to support these George Soros lies and whatnot, then if this is the kind of world that they want to live in, if they get consumed by it, well, then that's their problem. And I think that is the point of view of a lot of you guys. And I mean, to a degree, it's still an opinion that I hold myself, but we can't continue to live like this, and we can't really just pick and choose who we support based on ideological differences, especially regarding a topic so serious like violent crime. I don't think anybody deserves this. Nobody deserves this, even people that I disagree with. And and again, this is a refugee. This is somebody who didn't vote in our elections. This is somebody who came here recently and who probably didn't know better. And it could have been like her roommate's poster or whatever. Somebody else reported that. I don't know if it's true. It doesn't matter. Let's just pretend that these were her posters. That doesn't mean what happened is okay. And that doesn't mean that we need to stand by and allow the pets of the Democratic Party terrorize innocent people, even if they disagree with us. And even then, it's like, look, we need to seize upon this opportunity to bring awareness to the fact that these policies have failed everywhere. We live in a very, very dangerous time. Even though Trump is the president, Trump being in office is not a magic wand that's going to fix everything. We've had decades of these failed policies, and they really ramped up within the last 8 to 10 years. And we got to put a stop to it, because I just don't want to live like this. For those of us who have children, for those of us who are going to have children, we don't I just remember my childhood. Like, I grew up in Vegas for the most part. I mean, I moved around a lot, but like Vegas is my home. And I remember in the 90s, like during Halloween, my neighborhood, not far from where I live here, it was actually like 4 or 5 minutes away when I moved out here. Everybody, just hundreds of kids out in the neighborhood, trick-or-treating. Some of our neighbors, they would convert their garages and sometimes even their entire homes into haunted houses. And it was just so special and magical. And that was in the 90s in Blue Las Vegas, I guess. And that's what a high trust society looked like. We didn't have to worry about people putting drugs in our fucking candy bowl. We didn't have to worry about kids getting fucking raped or kidnapped. It was a very wholesome time in America, absent what happened in LA with the riots and whatnot. But you get the point. It's not like that anymore. Nobody trick or treats. Everyone's in hiding. It just like the more diverse it got, the less community this place, the less community feel. How do I put this? The community feeling that we once had is gone now because of wokeness, DEI, and I guess forced diversity, if that's what you want to call it. You just have too many people with differing, conflicting ideas and backgrounds, and nobody can see eye to eye on anything. Nobody. It really is. I really do feel like I'm living in hell. It's like a Tower of Babel type situation, and it's mind blowing to remember, to have fond memories of my childhood, and then to think now what it's like. And all of this is politics. All of this is because of policy, because the borders were open. Because the internationalists want to displace and replace American workers with H-1B visas, with illegal aliens from Latin America or Haiti or Africa. And now we're seeing these Islamic cities prop up in Texas. Like, dude, like, again, we didn't consent to any of this. We didn't vote for any of this. Growing up, the bad guys were put in jail. They were put in prison, and they were left there so they couldn't hurt anybody. And they've completely inverted that entirely, and it's sickening. It really is. And dude, this story has completely. I don't know what happened over the weekend, but like all these woke morons thinking that President Trump died just completely destroyed their brains. Like they just went full retard, and somehow they got worse, much worse, after they realized that President Trump is very much alive and he's healthy and spry and he's running around doing what he's supposed to be doing. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Chaz? I just saw that you're in here. Fuck anyone who feels comfortable hanging out in that room. I don't know what you're talking about, Zombie Bomb. You would never be here anyways. You're just mad you wouldn't be invited. Have a good one, Joe. Thanks, Chaz. You too, buddy. Zombie. So she got the consequences of her actions and after fleeing war service. I hold that opinion myself, unless it's a pretty white girl, Giovanni. Ooh, refugee. How the tune changes when it's a blonde white pussy. Wow, Friedrich Marx. Well, first off, the Joe Biden's Ukraine war. Okay, this is his war. I disagree with. We caused that problem, and I think it's important to import some of these refugees from Eastern Europe who want no part in it. And by the way, Zelensky is a fucking dog, okay? I can't stand First off, I've always maintained that I love the Ukrainian people. They're beautiful people, beautiful culture. They deserve to exist. And the war isn't entirely their fault. The only people I got beef with are the Nazi Azov battalion and obviously Zelensky, who isn't even authentically Ukrainian. He's just a puppet. All right, he's a puppet on strings. I see everything. Okay, and I don't like the idea of Ukrainians being slaughtered in a senseless war, or Russians. I think the Ukrainians should abandon their posts. They should leave and cease fighting so the war could end. So Zelensky can be brought to heel. So no, I don't mind like a legitimate war refugee. Like Latin America, there's no war in Latin America. There's no famine. Those people aren't starving. A lot of them are fat. We've all seen the videos. So what's the fucking problem? So there's no war. They're not starving. So they don't need to be coming here. But in Ukraine, Zelensky the butcher is rounding up innocent Ukrainians and forcing them to kill their own brothers and sisters. Okay? So, no, I don't mind. She doesn't bother me. Okay, so she seems to have done everything correctly. And this is exactly how I feel about the South Africans, okay? Like, look, if I could, I would house maybe like 1 or 2 South Africans, okay? Because I'm so passionate about... Because they're actually facing a fucking genocide, okay? So, like, I do have empathy, and I do have compassion, okay? And by the way, she probably should have gone to Europe, but whatever. So no, Friedrich Marx, I feel like you're wrong. It's no different than someone who sees rainbow flag and decides to stay at that party anyway. They're asking for the world to suck and getting ready for what they asked for. Community is dead, cannot raise the dead. Childless rightoids are only enabling the community collapse. Chaz 07. So this war and its people cut the refugee costs. So what's the issue then? Gia secretly wears women underwear and you can't prove otherwise. True. No such thing as a war refugee. Choose a side, defend or convert. I don't know, man. Like, look, I mean, I would, if I was a little girl, like, like the pizza girl, I wouldn't want to convert to the Russian side, and I wouldn't want to die senselessly in some fucking, foxhole. Just fucking leave, man. Like, dude, there's no shame in running away from a war that you don't want any part of. Like, I've talked about this here, and even Under Chronic has mentioned it as well. He's like, look, guys, like, don't sign up and fight. Like, you don't have to fight and die for Israel. You don't have to fight and die for any of these stupid causes. Like, you can choose not to give a fuck. Like, there's a totally acceptable stance to have. And I've gotten into arguments with people. It's like, yeah, if the Russians invaded and they landed on the beaches of, like, San Diego and, Orange County or whatever, and then they showed up at my doorstep, I'd be like, dude, I'm like, they're over there. The guys who are oppressing me are over there. Like, I'd help them out, but I'm not going to fight. Like, fuck that. Like, even now, like, I'm just not interested in fighting people who didn't do shit to me. But even then, I don't have animus towards her plight. So we got some more posts that I wanted to look at really quick. So where was the outrage? Oh, right. Not a black guy. Never mind. So this woke shitter, this guy whose account is totally botted, by the way. And I wrote, are Democrats scrambling to protect his identity? Meaning the guy who stabbed the person in the throat on this bus. Are they making excuses for the crime? Are they covering up the crime itself? Are Republicans making excuses? Oh, I already said that. No, then shut the fuck up. Yeah, so... this guy, Zor Valley Alley, I don't even know if I'm saying that name correctly. Nobody is doing this for DeCarlo. Oh, that's his name. It's a really stupid name. You should go to court and change that shit. Oh, that's right. He's in prison right now, or he's locked up. Nobody's doing this for DeCarlo's either, laughing my ass off. No, it's actually wrong. Charlotte Democrat remarkably says Trump is wrong about nightmare train stabbing and claims jail is not the solution. That's what Zoran Mamdani said. Yeah, so this is the moment right before this little girl passes away. There's other images where she's recoiling in fear, staring up at this towering ghetto dindu, just ruthlessly stabbing her. And the Democratic Congresswoman who represents Charlotte defended the city's cashless bail system against President Donald Trump's criticism. So he says, I'm being disingenuous as fuck since you cut off what she really wanted to say. Okay, well, what did she really want to say? The Democratic Congresswoman who represents Charlotte defended the city's cashless bail system against President Donald Trump's criticism, arguing that the man who brutally stabbed the Ukrainian woman should have received mental health treatment rather than been held on traditional bail that might have prevented the attack. Well, he wasn't held on traditional bail at all, if that's what she's insinuating. He was given this diversion opportunity, and he didn't seize upon it, and nobody held him to that. So he went and did what he did. But traditional bail would mean that a traditional bail system would mean that they would set bail. It would probably be very high, given that this guy is a repeat offender, another career criminal like George Floyd. And he wouldn't have been roaming around freely to terrorize these little girls, like this Ukrainian refugee who did nothing wrong. It's absolutely sickening. And I said, yeah, if he was held on traditional bail, he wouldn't have been free to kill. Are you dumb? So again, these people are not really understanding what they're reading. They think they think they're owning me, but they're not. These people are dumb. Look, guys, man, I hate to admit this, but I feel like I'm kind of done with freedom. I don't want my enemies to have freedom. I don't want enemies of civility and Western civilization to have freedom and rights. I think people who are predisposed to commit these acts of violence should be locked away in a prison forever. I'm not interested in coddling them or sucking their dick or kissing their asses and giving them, a free pass after committing atrocious acts of violence, like viciously stabbing this little refugee girl. No, I just want them locked away forever. I don't give a fuck about due process. I don't give a fuck about their freedoms. I don't give a fuck about reparations. I don't care what grievance they have. I want them in prison forever so we can have a little bit of fucking peace for once in our goddamn lives. Because I am so fucking sick of seeing shit like this. I'm so sick of hearing about it, and it's only going to get worse unless we do something about it. Fortunately, we have a president that is on it, and he's been a warrior for the police. He's been a warrior for the victims of these senseless acts of violence. And had Kamala Harris been the president of the United States, God forbid, thank God we dodged that bullet. But if she were to have won, she would have come out, did a presser, and said something stupid like, DeCarlos could have been my son. He looks like he could have been my boy. It's like, yeah, I see all these right-wing trolls crying about the refugee, but where is the empathy for DeCarlos? Where we need social justice reform and all this other bullshit. No, man. Dude, people are already getting radicalized enough as it is, watching the video and seeing the horrible imagery of the girl recoiling in fear. Imagine if Kamala Harris was the president and these images existed of the girl recoiling in fear, of her crying seconds before she passes away, and then you juxtapose that with Kamala Harris saying, well, what about social justice? What about justice for DeCarlos Brown? That is a very real possibility. That is a very real scenario that we could have lived out had we not won the 2024 general election here in the United States. Thank God for President Trump. Let me read some of your guys' comments. I'd hardly call it a secret. He used to wear a leather bra for every shot. Fuck off, Sami Mom, you dumb bitch. I hate Dindus and Dindu Hindus. Tentacle NIL. Disavow. Ukrainian Dindu. Mind crafted by an American Dindu. Dindu on Dindu violence. Bro, you're trolling. Disavow. MTN. Preaching the gospel. Finally, you abandoned that F-slur freedom sheet. Yeah, dudes, even President Trump was floating banning a certain group of people, the cyborg transformers, from being able to possess and own or buy firearms. And the 2A community has cut this yard. They're like, oh, well, this is a bridge too far. Must slippery slope. You guys can't even get out to vote in your local elections. You can't get out to vote in the general elections for more police presence in the schools, which is something that I propose. We need police present, standing by, standing guard to protect the children, not just from these violent mass shooters, but by these super predators that are teaching in the classroom who prey upon the children sexually. And we also need to protect the children from the drug dealers in the school poisoning the youth. They're not interested in doing that. But as soon as President Trump floats the idea of preventing these mentally ill freaks from owning or possessing firearms, and all of a sudden, like, oh no, I'm a slippery slope. I'm a libertarian. We got to lower the age of consent. No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in my enemies being able to possess firearms. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't like the idea of blatantly mentally ill people possessing firearms. I don't give a fuck about my principles or my Second Amendment or my freedom. No, I'm fucking done with it, guys. Look, I still lean towards being a libertine, but I just can't do this anymore. There's no excuse. There's no excusing this anymore. We need to do something about it. And like, here's my best defense for this stance. I am a man. If I was given the option to live without my penis or die, just fucking kill me. So when I hear these radical activists, these ideologically possessed individuals who willingly want to cut off their wee-wees, yeah, dude, those people are insane. That terrifies me. I don't think they should be possessing firearms. I don't think you're in the right state of mind to hold a deadly weapon. Own one, buy one, whatever, everything in between. I'm over this shit. Yeah, I want the National Guard on every street corner. I want all the drug dealers rounded up. I want all the rapists rounded up. I want all the election riggers rounded up. I want the TikTok nurses rounded up. I am sick of it all. And this is the only chance we're going to get. And like I said, this is the Republicans' midterm to lose. It's over a year. We got a year to get this right. I do plan to get everybody to vote. I've already made quite a few handsome bets. Really, really nice bets, and I think they're going to play out just right. But, with the redistricting, with this, with the census stuff, with the election integrity push, I think we're going to be in good shape, and I'm not going to doom. But 2025, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say it's 50-50. I think we have a 42% chance of salvaging 2025. But I don't know. Virginia just had a special election and it went to the Democrat. But it was a Democratic seat anyway, so whatever. And at this moment in time, especially in Virginia, Republicans have no reason to vote. Winsome Sears trashes the MAGA coalition, trashes our president, and then she crawls on her hands and knees begging President Trump for an endorsement. Glenn Youngkin goes out and begs Trump for an endorsement. Sean Spicy Spicer was on Jesse Kelly, I think, saying like, oh, well, Trump should just let bygones be bygone and, support this Winsome Sears. Why? Again, like, and Bernie Bros and other disaffected leftists who do cross the aisle with us sometimes, but generally disagree with everything we have to say. They're not motivated to vote for somebody like Cuomo. They're not motivated to vote for somebody like Kamala Harris or Governor Newsom. You got to give them a reason to vote. Same with the MAGA coalition. We're not going to get up and vote for some shithead like Winsome Sears. By the way, Abigail Spanberger, I like the way she looks. I like that long, beautiful hair. I'd vote for her simply because of that reason. Let me see. What do we got here? It's literally a matter of IQ at this point. Compare Haiti and the Dominican Republic. The more of a disparity of the IQ, the more you see this. I've never been to either of them, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Dropping the my freedom so late makes the Democrats look correct about hidden fascists, goy stepping in lockstep. Well, I mean, they're worse than we are. The Democratic Party they were very insistent that we get round. They wanted to put us in prison for not pumping ourselves full of pharmaceutical products. They like to pretend they hate the millionaires and the billionaires, but they want to give Big Pharma a massive blowjob by force injecting us with their poison. These are the people that wanted us kicked out in the streets, homeless, destitute, and not unable to find a job or send children to school because they didn't want to take the pharmaceutical products against their will. And now we're seeing Florida make a massive push to end the vaccine mandates. I think that's great. Immigration incentives, the smartest of any country to abandon their country of origin. Make UNC great again. I don't know what that means. If you follow Andy and Andy, no, he covers Antifa criminal activities. Most of them are trans. Yeah, they're ticking time bombs. Those people. Brad Scott, I love chocolate milk, especially at night. But yeah, man, this one hurt to watch, bros. This really affected me in ways that I don't care to admit. And then this is Harmeet Dillon. God bless her. I think she's fantastic. She wrote, this is a civil rights issue. Yes, and this is the picture that I was talking about. This poor little girl just curling up almost into a little ball in the seat. She had nowhere to go. She died alone. She was surrounded by people who look like DeCarlos Brown. Nobody helped her until far too late. I think it was about a minute after she collapsed. And yeah, she's wearing a little pizza uniform. She was just making pizzas. You know, this girl works. She's just a working class girl. And this is what they did. This is what he did. This is what the Democrats did. This is the fear that they instilled into this community. And this is the part of the playbook of the Bolshevik. They let all the vicious, violent criminals out of the prison. And then they put back into the prison members of the productive class, members of the working class, and they worked them to death. The people who are political dissidents, I mean, that's just how it goes. The Democratic Party loves the criminal underclass in the United States. They can utilize these people. These people are soldiers. They're literally soldiers. They use them in canvassing operations. I would know. I used to work for the Democratic Party. They would send them out there to do canvassing stuff. This would be their muscle, figuratively and literally. And of course, you can break people into a state of compliance by unleashing a violent horde of these ghetto thugs onto a harmless population, if you will, a very docile population, and it is docile. The Goyim has been pacified with drug use, with Netflix, with pornography, with anime, with alcohol, all of the above. It's sickening, man. The best thing that you can do for yourself to prepare for a situation like this, first off, never relax. That's like the number one thing. You can't be relaxing. Two, you got to stop with the consuming, guys. The more you consume, the brain rot just gets worse. I have chocolate cereal. Nobody asked. Brad said, shout out Chronic. His brother got hit with some bullshit essay charge and he needs donations. What? I'm gonna message him later. I'm gonna ask him what's up with that. Dude, we've been talking past each other, man. We've been wanting to. I've been wanting to go on his stream. He's invited me numerous times. Guys, I'm just been so fucking busy, man. I've been so busy with the remodel, with the home remodels. Pool season's over, so I'm not really doing installing the motors anymore. I was only doing those briefly just because, like, for whatever reason, I got lucky at a time where there was so many people who needed motor replacements, and I was able to wire them really quickly. But the problem was, why it was so lucrative, it's because, like, a lot of the pool techs were so busy and backed up with work, I was able to take advantage of the chaos. And I'm like, well, it's going to be a little extra, and I might, it's going to be late at night, I guess, but, whatever, I did it. But yeah, once I'm done with this, I'm going to be able to be, I would like to commit to doing, like, co-streaming and stuff and joining other people. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It's just like, right now, it's just not a good time. It really isn't. And I just got some orders to build puppets, and I have another one behind me that I'm working on, so I'm just fucking busy, bros. Yeah, man. So that sucks, dude. I hope everything's okay with him. I don't know too much about it, but obviously, like, I love Chronic. I'm down with the Warband. And anybody who's a green skin, for the most part, I'm down with. Why did she cower? If she stayed in Ukraine and got her training, she would have been fine. Russians are stronger than Afro-Americas. I don't know, bro. I'm not answering that. He's finished installing the pump into all his puppets. Yes, that's right. Let's see. That's why MGTOW is the way. It's safer to stay away from Puniti because they are also taking time. I don't know about that. They're self-cleaning now, so we had to stop laughing about how they drip and stink. All right, whatever. So yeah. So Matt Walsh writes, This image will define the new civil rights movement. We have a right to use public accommodations without being butchered in our seats. We have a right to save communities where violent animals are rounded up and caged. This is not just a local crime; it's a civil rights issue. And Harmeet Dillon, a bright legal mind, agrees. So again, God bless her, and I hope she does a lot of really good things in regards to the epidemic of the Biden crime spree, and also with the election riggers. Those people need to be brought to heel. All right, so we need to get into something a little bit more lighthearted. Well, let me take a swig of this water. Because we got to talk about Eugene Carroll. Just don't want to live like this anymore, man. Don't want to live like this anymore. Eugene Carroll has made the news because an appeals court has denied overturning the phony baloney verdict that President Trump has to pay over $80 million in some sort of damages to this woman who, in my opinion, did not get raped by him, which appears to be the opinion of the jury. Of course, the judge overrode that because he's corrupt. New York is very interesting because there was a lot of procedural stuff that I don't really want to bore you with that's involved in cases like this that would have prevented Eugene Carroll from moving forward. However, the New York legislature was able to amend the law only for 1 year, conveniently when Eugene Carroll was doing this, and it passed. And that was the excuse, or I guess a permission slip that they needed to proceed with charging President Trump over $80 million for damages for defaming her or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But this is loosely related. There was a fake letter. In my opinion, it looks fake to me, that apparently President Trump wrote to Jeffrey Epstein. And I like this guy. Chris wrote, Synergy doesn't even matter. It's a digital creation, layered negative artifacting with near no positive, pure two-tone, black and white, filtered to hell. Not a hint of ever being printed. And here's a close-up of the image. Yeah, guys, I remember seeing this for the first time. This was sent to somebody that I know who hates Trump. And I'm like, dude, this doesn't look like it was written at all. I have so many questions. But, I mean, look at this. I looked at it and I'm like, dude, this looks like it was created in Canva or Adobe Illustrator. And I'm like, no, sorry, this looks fake to me. Let me see if we can get a clear picture of it. We're getting there. This is Viva Fry talking about that girl. We'll get to Eugene Carroll in a second. Okay, so my notes are all over the place. Here we go. So this is some fucking retarded ass poem that apparently President Trump drew this. He drew this image, okay? And he gave it to Jeffrey Epstein. This was apparently submitted to Congress, and it was signed here at the bottom. Again, these look like vector images, and this text looks very low effort. It looks like it was made in like MS Paint. Like, again, I'm not kidding you. Let me read this over. Okay, so first off, this is allegedly a birthday card that was sent to Jeffrey Epstein from Trump. And it is in the form of this like poem that looks like a screenplay, voiceover. I'm reading the text as is, okay, voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything. Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Yes, we do. Come to think of it. Donald. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? ? Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, it was clear to me that the last time I saw you. Donald. A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Yeah, first off, look, President Trump's been all over TV, all over radio since, like, I don't know, the 70s and the 80s and whatnot. He's been on Oprah, Howard Stern, etc. This isn't how he talks, for one. This isn't his voice. There's literally a science behind the usage of words and being able to identify somebody kind of like a fingerprint. And this does not have Trump's fingerprints anywhere near it. This looks like some douchebag, uppity, moronic, soy guy Redditor wrote this. This is unbelievably cringe. Other people are like, yo, this is way too rainbowish for it to be written by Trump. All right, so we also have to keep in mind that this is supposed to be a birthday card. What birthday card would have this written on it? So I can't imagine Trump writing this or typing it out because he doesn't know how to use a computer. So he would have had to have solicited some sort of company to have produced this for him to give to Jeffrey Epstein. And if that is the case, and this is a birthday card, why not just take a picture of the card? This doesn't look like a card at all. Guys, this is exactly what was submitted to Congress. This is it. This entire image right here, this was submitted to Congress. And we are made to believe that President Trump, I guess, produced this somehow and gave it to Jeffrey Epstein at some point. Well, it's kind of hard to tell because, again, this looks like a vector image with some bullshit-ass text that was printed out and rescanned multiple times. There's a lot of digital artifacting all over this thing, as the other individual pointed out. And, again, I just noticed it just by looking at it for the first time. So we got a lot of stuff going against it. So, like, let's say hypothetically, I'll just use cheese as an example. And I told you guys, and I was being a drama whore, and I was like, oh, well, cheese threatened my life. He sent me a threatening letter. And there were, knives and all this crazy stuff drawn on this letter. And you guys were like, well, why don't you post a letter? And I gave you guys something like this. You would think I'm a fucking liar. They're like, well, why don't you just give us the physical letter that's in your possession? And I'm like, oh, well, I can't. I come up with all these excuses. There's no reason to believe me. So they're trying to pretend as if this is supposed to be Trump's doing. This is Trump's birth. And they're saying, and the Democrats are also claiming that this is found in Epstein's birthday book. Look, I'm not old, but I'm not young either. And I've been around, and I'm letting you guys know I have never, ever in my entire life, ever heard of the word birthday book. What the hell is a birthday book? I've never seen one. I've never, I didn't even know a birthday book was a thing. No one's able to answer me. People who claim that this is legitimate, no one's able to answer me as to whether or not this is real or what a birthday book is. They're just like, oh, well, he's a pedophile no matter what because I don't like Orange Man. Okay. I like to look at things a little bit critically. Again, why not just show us the actual birthday card or birthday book or whatever the hell this is supposed to be? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Let me read some of these comments before we move forward. Goddamn riggers. I know, right? You do not have rights. You have privileges, and they are meant to be protected privileges, but you have unprotected privileges. Yo, what's up, Morse code? The picture is violating my eyes. Hashtag me too. This is Goonie material. Why are you showing this? Is this the audience you want now? This is how you can tell he doesn't have friends. Everyone gets birthday books. The fuck is a birthday book? Dude, seriously, what is a birthday book? AC, delete that comment because you're talking shit. Look, I know what a birthday card is. I know what a Hallmark card is. But I don't know what a birthday book. I think a book, multiple pages and you flip through it. But I've never heard of a birthday book. I've never heard of it in my life. I don't even know how many birthday parties I've been to. No, it just sounds like bullshit. I don't know. Maybe it's a billionaire thing to do. And obviously I'm not a billionaire, so I wouldn't know better. But yeah, this is horseshit. And again, yeah, people like this E. Jean Carroll fucker, really leading the charge and trying to paint Trump as like this super predator. And again, it's all bullshit, guys. I mean, this is why I tell people just don't even worry about the Epstein stuff. It's all a distraction. It's all fake. The discourse around just politics in general, especially lately, has just been all fake. And the E. Jean Carroll shit, this is really interesting. Lawfare. E. Jean Carroll admits she tricked the jury by making herself look fuckable and says she's glad it worked. Tim Miller gets emotional imagining how much that must fuel Carroll's feminist juices. I don't know who this guy is. I guess this is Tim Miller, but dude, he looks uncomfortable. As a dude, I can tell when another dude looks uncomfortable. I've given this woman, I've given that look to a few women. I'm like, damn, dude, this bitch is fucking crazy. So let me see if we can just zoom in on this. Oh wait, hold up. Oh, hold on. I gotta turn this up. This is really quiet. First off, like, look at this fucking, look at this room. Look how filthy this room is, dude. This fucking chick is nasty, bro. She's a fucking nasty goblina looking ass bitch. All right.
Like, well, I got to be hotter to win this case.
Yeah, I gotta be.
That has to be pretty dispiriting. But then you're like, well, I got to be hotter to win this case.
Yeah, I gotta be fuckable. Is the word. So what we did.
Dude, look how nasty this room is, dude. Yeah, dude. Eugene Carroll checks off all of the stereotypes. Every single one of them. Dude, haters be like, oh, dude, you and those old ladies, I bet you'd give Eugene Carroll a chance. Absolutely not. Look, I have... There are limits, okay? There are boundaries I will not cross. Dude, look at it. Dude, I would probably get fucking sick just stepping into this room. Ugh, all dusty and shit.
We looked, I had a talk show, a TV talk show in 1996. I went through that, some of the shows, took screenshots of my hair cut in a bob, and we did then I found the hairdresser and the makeup person who made me look like that in 1996. She came every day to trial, did my hair and makeup exactly like it was in 1996. I wore the exact same clothes I wore in 1996. The exact clothes.
Yeah, they're back. It's back in trend.
Yeah. Oh,
dude, that guy looks so fucking disgusted. Look how disgusted. Look how disgusted he is. He's like, look, I'm a libtard. I'm a Democrat shill, you know, whatever. But like, he just can't. You can't hide legitimate disgust in somebody. When you are legitimately disgusted, it is very difficult to conceal how you truly feel. I've had this look on my face talking to certain women in the past. I've even had this look talking to certain dudes. I'm like, ugh, dude, you did that shit? Ugh, dude, you live like that? Ugh, dude, you're a cuckold? What the hell? Ugh. And that's what he's looking at.
Trend.
yeah. Oh, I don't have a book here, but the thing I'm wearing on the cover, I bought it at Bergdorf's in 1993.
Zombie Bomb, you'd be like Eugene Carroll, just talking about being fuckable or trying to appear fuckable.
So
Wow.
that's the kind of...
Yeah, dude, like, here's a strategy. I'm gonna just sum this up in real talk. The reason why they had to summon the old hairdresser, the girl who did the makeup, all the styling and whatnot, they had to summon this other old lady to make her look fuckable. Her words, not mine. Because Eugene Carroll has no sex appeal. This woman is like anti-sexy. You know, most dudes are dogs and they'll just take whatever they can get. But there are certain women that repel dudes the way that like certain minorities repel white women on dating sites, which we're going to get to in the 304 section of the show. So she had to make the jury believe that President Trump would want to romantically embrace her. He would want to romantically put himself onto her, if you know what I mean. Because most of us don't, and that was literally his defense. He's like, I'm not even attracted to this bitch. It's like, I'm not into her. Like, ugh, she's nasty. And people were like, oh no, Trump is disgusting. That is a legitimate defense, by the way. And I already read the dissent, and this is going to the Supreme Court. We'll probably hear about this will probably be end up at the Supreme Court in about 60 days. So we'll see. But yeah, no sex appeal. Nobody believes this. The jury didn't believe it. The judge said otherwise, but I mean, we have the documents and we already know what the jury thought. But you know, she got away with it because of the corrupt judicial system in New York City. Let's see. Most dude got the dog and then woof woof. Yeah, you know what's up. All right, so let's finish this video.
And I didn't look like I looked in 96, but I looked like somebody who could have looked like somebody in 96.
The awkward, nervous scratch. He's probably trying so hard not to laugh his ass off.
And it was enough. It was enough. So it was a trick.
This trick, that doesn't make you annoyed? That doesn't, your feminist juices don't start flowing over that? Like, That's
Dude, I don't want to hear about feminist juices. Coffeezilla had a video, a good video on the birthday book. Okay. I know who Coffeezilla is. Apparently, he lives relatively close to me out in Henderson. I haven't seen it though. Again, I don't want to invest too much time in the Epstein shit, just because most of the discourse around it is completely fake, and it's obviously a massive partisan hit job from the modern left. And again, like we have to keep in mind that for the past a little over a decade as of right now, the modern left, the Democratic Party, the wokesters, whatever you want to call them, these people have ignored Pizzagate. They've ignored the Hillary Clinton email, the WikiLeaks, the Podesta emails where they're talking about spirit cooking and all the satanic shit. They ignored all that. They ignored the Epstein stuff largely for the better part of over a decade. And now all of a sudden, these people are latching onto this like a life raft in the ocean. And I mean, this is the only play that they have. I mean, it doesn't come from a place of sincerity, for one, and two, a lot of the stuff that they're publishing is just totally fake. That so-called birthday book, I don't know. Again, I don't even know what the fuck a birthday book is. I know what birthday cards are, and apparently a few of them have been released already, like the one that I just showed you with the curve of I guess a woman, and some cringe poetry from Trump. But again, that just looks like a vector image. It looks like something that was produced in Canva or Adobe Illustrator or maybe MS Paint. It doesn't look like a card to me. And again, where would he get that card? He obviously didn't type it out on his computer because he doesn't know how to use one. So again, I just have so many questions, and I feel like tearing this apart is too easy. They're obviously working an angle, and we're about to figure it out sooner than later. So I don't want to invest too much time in it. I posted it on Discord. It's only 11 minutes long. She has those crazy eyes, dude. Those are worse. It's worse than crazy eyes. It like AOC has crazy eyes. This chick has something else. She's got a darkness in her that's, I don't know. I think she's soulless. She's not crazy. She's soulless. She didn't set the world on fire. She probably met Donald Trump once. She probably flirted with him, not the other way around. And she essentially, in my opinion, lifted her grape story from an episode of SVU. We talked about it on the show. I can't show the clip because I'll get, banned or whatever. I get a copyright strike. But literally, the show, if I remember it correctly, the so-called victim was essentially role-playing and fulfilling out this grape fantasy in this department store, the exact same one where she claimed Trump raped her or whatever, and it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, and everybody knows it, so I don't care. I'm just taking 5-minute clips and using the crying filter on you, then posting them on my channel. All right, well, prepare to get copyright struck. I'm kidding. So yeah, I mean, this is it. Who puts the weirdest perverted shit on a birthday card? Answer, probably someone who's neck deep in the Epstein files. So this is the kind of discourse that we're getting from the Democratic Party. And I like the faux outrage. Some of again, I think it's just interesting that the Democratic Party, which wants to push and promote pornography on children in the public schools, they want to introduce children and babies to drag queens. They want to have drag queen story hour in public settings, and force it upon the youth. They want to groom the children to transition, and for whatever reason, the Democrat Party is obsessed with sexual education. And now they're acting like total fucking prudes over this totally fake, in my opinion, I guess, birthday card. Again, guys, I mean, is anyone else super skeptical of this? Because I am. I'm 100% skeptical of it. Again, I'm almost certain that Trump didn't make this. However, I will say this, though. I don't think Caroline Leavitt really did the president any favors today. I think he's not defending himself adequately in regards to the situation, because they keep calling it a Democrat hoax. They're like, this is a Democrat hoax. This isn't real. This is a distraction. Okay, I get that. But you need to elaborate what you mean by hoax. And they're like, well, Trump didn't sign this. And they're like, well, are you saying it's not real? They're like, well, they're just not clear. It's like, look, if he didn't sign this, if he didn't first off, is there even a birthday card? That needs to be addressed. Two, if there is a birthday card and it's this, and he didn't sign it, well, then who did? And why would they do this? Those are valid questions that were asked of Carolyn Levitt, and I don't think she did herself any favors. I don't think she answered that adequately. And there was like another one, something to do with a check. And again, they dispute that he made out a check for over 20 grand to buy whatever. And again, it's like, are those documents real? Like, are they tangible? Do they exist in the real world? If yes, did he write them? If no, then why are they bringing this stuff out? So a lot of people are speculating as to what's really going on here. I think I know, but I'm not prepared to really talk about it right now. However, I do maintain that the legitimacy of this is questionable. I do not believe for a second that Trump wrote this for a number of reasons that I've already stated. And I think this is going to continue to go on and to distract the country. Hopefully, or not. Maybe this will fall by the wayside, and we'll have to revisit it in the midterms. Because my working theory is that President Trump is waiting to pounce on the Epstein issue, which again I already conceded that he's lying about. He's lying about a lot of things. Like he knows that the Epstein shit is real. He referenced it before in 2016. He mocked Bill Clinton over it. So he knows the shit went on the island just like everybody else does. He probably heard it from people. It's like, yeah, Bill Clinton does this. Why he was being dishonest. Like I said, I think it's better to appear weak when you are strong, and to appear ignorant when you actually know quite a bit. You got to play this close to the chest. However, he's not representing himself in the best way possible. I think there's a few things that I would tweak myself. But in regards to today, I don't think Caroline Levitt really did him any favors. And again, there's just a lot of questions regarding this. Other questions like, okay, so if these are legitimately real, why not just show an actual image of the so-called birthday card? And why was this held on to for so many years? I mean, this was held on for nearly 10 years. But apparently these existed for like over a decade. So what's up, man? What's going on? I guess we're going to find out sooner or later. So, we should just hang tight. I'm pretty sure that'd be considered transformative, though. I doubt it. Look, he's used the language in the card, and the signature matches up. No, not really. And no, he didn't use the language. I don't believe he's ever used that language before. The info is summed up in the video I posted by a trusted and valid YouTuber. Should I give him Jewish curls and the poncho and a Sicilian? Wow! Or is it too over the top? I want people to think it's real. The whole book is released. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to look into it because, again, I just don't really believe it's relevant to anything. And again, the people are saying that the book is real, but nobody knows where this book came from. They're just saying it came from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, and it was submitted to Congress. Me personally, investigating, if I were to properly investigate this matter, I would need to see the original document. I would need to see who produced the birthday card, what year. I would need to examine the signature. Look at the pin lifts because I did a little bit of fraud prevention. I would look at the pin lifts. The penmanship. Again, I'm seeing artifacting on this, and it looks like it was a digital creation, not something that was created 10 to 20 years ago. So I just have a lot of questions, you guys, because I'm doubting the legitimacy of this so-called birthday card, and then they keep referencing birthday book. Again, I'm not really sure what that is. Is a birthday book like a scrapbook where you put a bunch of birthday cards in it? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, really, the signature being fake is literally propaganda. You don't know. People do know because it's public information. No, people don't know. And yeah, I get that it's public information in the sense that the so-called estate ended up surrendering these documents to Congress as of recently. But apparently no one has ever seen these things before until literally just less than a week ago. Again, if you want to choose to believe what is obviously bullshit, that is totally on you. You have a right to be wrong. I mean, that's something that I preach. I always preach to people that you have a right to be wrong. And I always impress upon others to, be vocal about your opinions and to speak freely. I am all about open dialogue, open inquiry. And I mean, that's all we're really doing here. Is I'm examining this document that is being passed off as a legitimate creation of the President of the United States. And I'm just not convinced that it's real. Do me a favor, Jay. I need you to say, it's a me. Fuck off, Zombie Bomb. God damn, you already got one out of me. Yeah, she bounded a book together of his birthday cards from powerful people over the years. Okay. Yeah, apparently, yeah, I mean, that's a story they want to go with. That's cool. But again, I'm not, God damn it, Zombie Bomb. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to believe, that's fine. But you guys are being gamed. So is the Bill Clinton one fake too? It's possible that it's bullshit as well. I mean, well, the thing with the Bill Clinton one is that actually looks like something that was like hand drawn. It actually looks like a proper scan of a document. This doesn't. But again, I don't know. I'm the courtesy that I'm extending to Trump, I'm going to apply to every single person in this so-called book. Okay. I would just have to see it. I just don't believe it. There's been way too many hoaxes. There's been the Russia hoax, the Jussie Smollett hoax, the Nathan Phillip hoax. Just way too many hoaxes, man. Way too many. Biden is totally healthy, even though we can all see that he's crumbling right before our eyes and that he's visibly sick. I was one of the first content creators openly stating that he is physically ill. So how many of the cards are fake too? Well, first off, I've only seen maybe one. I saw the one that people were saying was Bill Clinton's, but again, dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know where this stuff came from. I mean, it's not legitimate evidence in my estimation. Apparently, allegedly, the so-called alleged victims of Jeffrey Epstein came out publicly and made a big ruckus, and they said a whole lot of nothing. If these are legitimate victims of abuse, why not come forward and name their abusers? Not a single one of them wanted to. Not a single one of them wanted to. They're just opportunists selling books. None of these people, like what I would like to see are the individuals who abuse the children and whatnot to be held accountable by being brought before a court and charged and convicted. That's what I would like to see. But nobody wants to name the alleged perpetrators. These women were on CNN just a few days ago, along with their lawyers, saying that President Trump didn't do anything wrong. That was their words, not mine. I don't care who it was leaked to. It's immaterial. Wait, we spend too much time on this. I caught myself doing something with you in the background. Shame on you. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. So yeah. Let me see. What else have we got here? Oh God, another one. What does this shit say? Another congressman, Raj he writes, this is disturbing, disgusting, and extremely troubling. Trump didn't just leave a salacious note in Epstein's birthday book. He added a lewd drawing, then lied about it for years. What do you mean years? This is the first time anyone's fucking heard of it. If he lied about this, what else is he hiding? The full Epstein files must be released now. Oh yeah, this is so convincing. You'd have to be a jackass to believe this shit. Yeah, this is so lewd, you guys. I mean, it's not like a bunch of drag queens whoring around, having children stuff money in their thongs. That's stunning and brave, but this fake drawing, this clearly fake drawing, apparently is the line that the Democrats just cannot cross. This is a bridge too far for the Democrats. Right, got it. Again, like, you guys understanding like how fucking fake the discourse is around this shit? Like, this is all fake. Like, you'd have to be a fucking moron to fall for the scam. Bill Clinton's birthday letter to Epstein praising childlike curiosity is revealed along with creepy drawing a PDF file giving young girls balloons and lollipops. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm just not convinced. I would need to see a lot more compelling evidence. None of this is evidence to me. None of this is compelling evidence to me. And I mean, if this is what it takes, Trump saying that Epstein is an enigma, if that's what it takes to call him a PDF file, then, I mean, whatever, man. I don't know what to tell you, but bearing false witness is a sin. Bearing false witness against innocent people is a sin. And if this is the threshold, then I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, the bar is really fucking low if this is what it takes to be called a PDF file. I've worked with children. Like I got little kids in my family, and I've never in my entire life been called this, or I've been hinted at being any of this shit. That was until all this Epstein shit really started gaining traction for whatever reason on the Democratic side. And I've been called a PDF file. People are saying I'm a predator. People are sending me fucking death threats and shit because I'm just like, yeah, this is obviously bullshit. This looks like bullshit to me. Smart people don't believe that this is real. It looks fake. I mean, it is fake. I'm telling you guys right now, this is totally 100% fake. And in the rhetoric that I am seeing from the modern left, it didn't exist not even a year ago. Nobody was talking about this except for Trump. And then Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene, now they're drinking the Kool-Aid and they're going all in on this fucking Epstein bullshit. And again, like, these people are fucking losers. Like, Thomas Massey is a fucking loser. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. Dude, I've talked about this a lot. I've talked about, the Pizzagate. I talked about the satanic shit and the Clinton emails. And I talked about Epstein. And I talked about the Southern District of New York covering this shit up. They covered it up. Why did Bill Barr and his family cover for Jeffrey Epstein? Why isn't Congress investigating those guys? The Southern District of New York is insanely corrupt, and they obviously protected Epstein for a number of years, and they also put on a phony trial, a show trial, which is essentially a cover-up for Ghislaine Maxwell, where she trafficked nobody to nobody, but she was held accountable for it. And James Comey's daughter, who was... she was the AG in the Southern District of New York, the most corrupt judicial district in the country. Congress isn't bringing them before. They're not dragging her before Congress and questioning her about her motives and what she knew and when she knew it. Why did they allow Jeffrey Epstein to die in that prison cell? I mean, these are serious questions. And now they're talking about these fucking birthday cards. Like, this is a waste of everybody's time because this is obviously fake. You can just use deductive reasoning to come to a very logical conclusion that this is obviously a fucking scam. The people who are falling for this are being scammed. Just like people who thought World War III was right among us. That was a scam. The economy was amazing. That's another scam. The scamdemic, that was a scam. And so many people are falling for it. And it really sucks to see well-meaning people who are like on my side of the political spectrum fall for what is obviously a scam. But hey, if that's what you guys want to do, knock yourselves out. You literally don't know what that, and writing it off without examination is insane. Well, there's nothing really to examine. I mean, this is it, dude. This is all they produce. He isn't dead. He is just existing. I guess we'll see. I mean, it'd be interesting for him to come out of nowhere and be like, hey, he just shows up at the Joe Rogan podcast. All right. Well, enough about that. We had some really interesting polling data. This could have been fallen into the 304 segment. But this is everything will come crashing down if we don't immediately and aggressively fix colleges. So this is NBC News Decision Desk poll Gen Z. So they're polling Gen Z, and they're asking the youngsters, well, they're not really young. They're like in their 20s now. They're asking them, like, what's important to you? So for the men who voted for Harris, or the men who voted for Trump, this is what's really important to them. At the top of the list is having children. So Gen Z men want to have families. Financial independence. That suggests to me that young Trump voting men, these young males, these young Gen Z boys, they want to have a career. They want to be financially independent. They want to have their affairs in order. And they also want to be married. So they want to be married with a fulfilling career and little children. This is what's most important for the men who voted for Trump. And then down the list, giving money to do things you want. That's right after being married. Okay, so you want to have fun with your wife. You want to have fun with your kids. That's cool. Owning a house. All right, so after they have a little bit of fun, they're going to own a house. And then at the very bottom, being grounded spiritually. So having God in your life, that's not it's not a really big priority. So less people are becoming religious. But I've also seen this trend kind of inverse, and a lot of people or a lot of young people are actually flocking to God, which I hope is the truth. Making family and their community proud. So again, independence mean they're focusing on themselves, not really caring about what other people think. So I think this is good. This is right where this should be. And having no debt is at the very bottom. So they know that some of this stuff is going to cause a little bit of debt, a little bit of turmoil, but they're willing to take that on if it means having a, for lack of better words, a fulfilling life. Now over here on the right, we have women who voted for Harris. What is the most important thing to these women? Fulfilling job/career. That's 51%. That is crazy to me. These women, they want to be boss babes. They want to be boss queens. All right. Having money to do things you want. Indulge in vices, so consume sinning. Ladies, what's going on with you? I think I'm too hard on the men. You know, I'm always like making fun of Star Wars and cape shit and Funko Pops and porn and stuff. But like, what are women consuming? What is it that they want to waste their money on besides like traveling and all this other shit? Having emotional stability. Must explain all the SSRIs and whatnot and all those other drugs they keep pumping into themselves to be emotionally stable. How's that working out for you girls? Using talents and resources to help others. What about help yourself? What about help your family? And then we start getting into financial independence, having no debt, owning a home, and at the very bottom, making a family, making the family and community proud. And it's cut off here, but at the very, very bottom, only 6% of the women who voted for Gen Z girls who voted for Harris, only 6% of them want to have children, get married, and retire early. That's fucking crazy. That's unbelievably crazy. The difference between both these two groups is insane to me. But I mean, this is the battle of the sexes. This is this is really at the heart of the culture war and the differences between men and women. And I think Martin Mitchell is right. A lot of this does spring forth from the university. A lot of young men, especially Gen Z men, they're tapped out. They don't want to go to college. College isn't for them. It's too expensive, so it's out of reach. All the scholarships are going to illegal aliens. They're going to the diversity group. You know what I mean by that? And it's just not really for them. And even then, like, if you have the means to go, like, why would you spend money just to sit there in a lecture hall being told that you're evil because you're white and all the problems in the world are a result of your whiteness and you need to be held to account? You need to be on your knees and repenting and kissing the ass of people like George Floyd. So obviously this isn't for them. And the women on the other side are being pumped full of this insane far leftist ideology, which I guess compels them to believe that the most important thing in life is being a boss babe and a boss queen and helping others, being empaths and shit. The emotional stability, whatever that means, just doing whatever you want. Just be a queen. Just be a bad bitch. Just doing whatever you want. Like, this is insane. So these Gen Z men want to adopt responsibility. They want to set themselves up for a better future. They want to leave something behind. They want to leave behind a legacy. They want to leave behind, a little bit of money for their family so their family can grow and do really wonderful things. Women don't have that mentality, or at least the women in this age bracket who voted for Harris certainly don't. And it's really, really sad. And you know what? I wasn't really gung-ho about President Trump targeting the universities and the curriculums and all this other stuff. But now I am overwhelmingly in favor of a massive overhaul of the education system at every level of analysis and at every age group, essentially, because it's all woke. It's all far leftist, nonsense. And promoting the far leftist ethos, pushes people to soulless, childless, consumer whore lives. And I'm not about that, and you shouldn't be either. So you just got to be mindful of that, guys, understanding the mindset of a lot of these people. So this is a really interesting poll, and it's really just something to think about. Let me go ahead and read some of these comments here. Brad Skag, you are a retard. LOL. Fuck you. Like Elvis and that black guy from the 90s and Michael Jackson and the dude from Sublime, they all live on an island together now. You can't plant a page into the middle of a book. It was bound into the thing for years. The signature matches up, and he used phrases from the letter in speeches. It's very suspicious. Well, how do you know if you've never seen the thing yourself? I mean, again, dude, like, no one's seen this shit. They just submitted pages to Congress, and it's a little sussy to me. Brad Skag, if you're wrong, I'm going to fucking mock you for the end of time because you fell for a blatant hoax. I'm sorry, bro. Like it's just so fucking obviously fake to me. Like, I mean, look, I'd be bad at my job if I fell for all the hoaxes. I haven't fell for a single one yet. Okay. So like, I think I deserve a little bit of credit. I think I deserve a little bit of, a leeway, so cut me a little bit of slack here. Give me some rope. It's pretty sus among us. Hey, what's up, Chaz? Chaz, are you in Discord at all? No, you're not. Oh, okay. Oh, dude, I'm not even in Discord. Whoops. All right. All right, so we got to move on. I think we're going to get into the 3 or 4 stuff. And it's going to be a really short show. It's only probably going to go for another 30 minutes. Because I didn't have much prepped. This. Yeah, this is oh, man. Evan Loves Wharf is a fucking loser. However, every once in a while they post something that is just so important, monumentally important. So this guy, Wall Street Mav, he writes in a post, "It's okay to be white, American and Polish, and proud of it." And then he's posting a picture of, I guess, what looks like a young blonde girl. And then he deletes it, and then he posts the exact same thing from an account called Real Jessica 05. "It's okay to be white, American and Polish, and proud of it." And yeah, so Right Wing Cope writes, "Wait, is that the account that got exposed as being run by an Indian dude in Canada, or am I thinking of something else?" And then Evan Loves Wharf, "I can't keep them straight anymore. It's okay to be white." Yeah, every single time. I've been referencing for quite a bit how fake the discourse is online. I'm just letting you guys know the watchfrogs have not been paid by the Indians, Mossad, the Russians, the CIA, the Democratic Party, Turning Point USA, the ADL. We're totally independent. Unlike some of those other guys like David Wackman. That dude's totally bought and paid for, or Harry Sissy, Dean Withers, and all these other douchebags, these douchebag influencers that don't move the needle or really do anything of consequence. All of it is fake. All the discourse is fake, and you guys just got to be mindful of it. You guys got to be aware of it. But here on the Watchfrogs, we keep it real. I keep it real. I'm just not smart enough to tell lies. My memory is not that great. So if I lie, I'm just not going to remember that I said it, and then I'm going to get caught later on and embarrass myself. And you got to just, that's a little bit of wisdom that I can bestow upon you. It's just to always be truthful in your actions, always be truthful in your heart, always be truthful in your words, and keep your speech simple. And, you can have an easy life, man. You can have a very easy life. But the discourse on these platforms, like Twitter is almost unusable because of how fake the discourse is. Like the Epstein stuff, all the stuff around the crime, like all of it is fake. And all of it is annoying, and it just makes me roll my eyes, and I'm just kind of like tapping out. And it's largely why I don't even want to bother debating people anymore, because I've been asked to debate about the moon and shit, and I'm just I'm over it, because all these people do is just waste my time. They misrepresent what I say, and they just spew lies, and again they just want to score cheap political points, and I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I think it's all stupid. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm controlled by I work for you guys. I'd sell out to India. I don't feel like hopping on tonight. No, that's fine. I'd sell it to India. Well, look, I don't know, man. Getting $1,000 to post positive things about India, I would be tempted. I'll just put it that way. But nah, I just can't though. I don't think I would do that though. However, David Pacman getting $8,000 a month. Look, what he did is wrong, but I totally understand. I would totally understand. Those debates are a waste of time. They are, man. It's look, the only reason why I would go into debate is just to do a really fucking bitchin' opening and get my point across and say something that they're not going to forget. And obviously they didn't, because I'm still attacked for my rightful position that the moon landing was fake. And dude, it just pisses them off, man. It just drives these people crazy. And it's so funny that online, on Twitter, I was getting just dogpiled by these freaks. And eventually there was a point where they were school curriculum came up, and the pornography being pushed on the kids was brought up, and I was called a liar about it. And I was able to like point out very easily all these articles, all this evidence, like, look, they're introducing pornography to the kids, and they just refused to believe it. They didn't care. And also I mentioned that a lot of these people are like drug addicts, and they are addicted to chemical enhancers. And that's essentially what a drug is. It's a chemical enhancer. And they're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, dude, like, these are very basic words that I'm using. Here are the definitions. And they don't believe it. And then at some point, I stated that marijuana is addictive. It is an addictive chemical enhancer. And I was able to produce medical documents from the Canadian government, from WebMD, from Harvard, etc. All of it. They don't care. They don't care that it has addictive properties. They're just making it. And I'm like, I'm not making like any other statement. I'm just stating a fact that people are addicted to this. And again, like, they just don't care. They don't fucking believe it. So it's like, debating is worthless. And when I made my points about like the moon landing and shit being fake, like, I made very, very simple points, and like, they don't understand it. And these people are like pro science. They're supposedly more educated than me, and they just don't understand very simple concepts. So yeah, debate is a waste of time. I had to learn that the hard way. Debate me about Dragon Ball sagas. I've never seen Dragon Ball, dude. And no, I would never debate about that. I don't like anime. So the show is Trump talking points with dick sucking to boot is all we get. Where is the hot take? We cannot just be getting Fox Christian jail with dumpster talking points, and you make no bank. I don't know what you mean by what am I supposed to say? I don't know what you want from me, Friedrich Marx. It's not about making big. It's about sending a message. Exactly, Chaz. Geo's like Trunks from the future, too weak to defeat a twink and his little sister in combat. Brad Scat, I don't know what you just said. Geo just needs his training arc. Yeah, he has to connect with his dad first. Yeah, never gonna happen. People get habitually addicted to weed, but it doesn't make you chemically addicted. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. It's not what the medical literature states. Hot take, life is meaningless. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting position to take. And, like, look, Kite and Chaz, his opinion is valid. I think if you wanted to expand about that openly, I think it would be worth listening to. Tell us about your father, Gio. I can't. Look, we talked about crime earlier, and I mentioned it somewhat earlier as well about me being an at-risk youth. You look up what like an at-risk youth is, growing up in poverty, without a dad in the house, domestic violence in the house, drug use in the house. I mean, that was my life growing up. And, it wasn't a happy childhood. It wasn't entirely unhappy, but I mean, there was some sadness there. And when I hear about these criminals that do the things that they do, and then along comes all the Democrats to suck the dicks of these criminals, and they're like, well, have empathy, have a heart, be patient with them. And it's like, dude, like, I've been poor. It's like, I've been homeless. I used to work a shitty job where I got paid $7.50 an hour, literally. I've had 2 jobs once. I didn't have a car, so I had to, it took hours for me to fucking walk home. And not once was I like, I need to go grape. I need to go kill. I need to go pull a fucking pistol on somebody and take all their shit. Like, I never thought to do any of those things. I feel like a lot of this antisocial criminal behavior is genetic for the most part. These people are just naturally predisposed to being fucking violent thugs. And I don't give a fuck about reforming them, kissing their ass, feeling sorry for them, or worshiping them. I want them in fucking prison forever, away from people like myself. That's all I can really say on the matter. Kind Chaz says, nothing I say is valid or worth listening to. That's a lie, man. I don't believe that. Nah, that video would be pointless. Well, I guess. Medical literature says mRNA vaccines are safe. Take the jab, Giovanni. No, thank you. Well, I mean, it's also self-evident, dude. When somebody says, I wake and bake, they spend a good portion of their money on marijuana, like religiously, is that not an addiction? I mean, there were guys that I grew up with, you know, like when we were all like, you know, 19, 20 years old, and, you know, we're moving on, you know, going to college and stuff, and, you know, people had roommates and shit. Like, I remember this guy that I knew, and like they didn't have money for the power bill, and they didn't have money for heat in the house. You know, so like things weren't really functional at home, but they always had money for weed. That sounds like an addiction to me. You know, like growing up, I knew these two neighborhood boys. Their dad was a drug addict, and you know, we all used to play video games and skateboard and, you know, collect Pokemon, magic cards and stuff like that. And slowly but surely things would disappear because his dad was selling that shit for drugs. I mean, that's an addiction, dude. That's what addiction is. I mean, yeah, is it as extreme as some of the harder drugs? No, I'm not saying that at all, but it is addictive. And like, it's just weird that people would lie about the addictive properties of marijuana, THC, whatever you want to call it, weed. It just sounds like a cope to me. And again, like, I'm not judging anybody for using. You want to use, go ahead and use. I don't recommend it because I feel like that is what the internationalists would like. They would like you to be, you know, docile and worthless and lazy and doped up. I just refuse to live like that. I don't want to live like that. It doesn't seem pleasant to me. He isn't even fired. Weed addicts are insufferable. I agree, Chaz. I wake up and beg for like 15 years plus now. How am I more successful than you in the game of life? That's debatable. Actually, untrue. Weed addicts are the noobs of the addict world. I don't know about noobs. I mean, I would rather be a weed addict than like a fucking heroin addict. No, I judge everyone for petty reasons. But successful weed smokers exist and are not addicts. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's people who smoke weed, and it's not like a religious thing for them, and, you know, they'll just smoke whenever they're partying, whatever. And I mean, I wouldn't call them addicts per se. I'm not saying everybody who smokes weed is an addict. I'm just saying marijuana is an addictive drug. I mean, it's indisputable. Yeah, dude, again, why do people get so defensive about this? It's so weird. You guys are like those libertarians who want to lower the age of consent. Like, people would get really, 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 really upset. Game of life, reproduction. So, yes, true. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. We would need to see proof of that. You keep saying that you've done these things, but I say we just hold you to your standard. Okay, so we got to go ahead and move on. Oh, Brown. This fucking image. Oh, God. Shit, how long is this? Oh, 20 minutes. Here, we'll only watch like the first 5. I'm going to speed this shit up. Because I got a big day tomorrow meeting with more contractors. It's going to be a busy day.
Overheard my fiancée Liv compare our SX life to her ex. Began distancing myself from our relationship, and now we're unraveling our engagement. We had a group of friends over one night, and as the evening wore on, everyone naturally broke off into smaller groups. Some of us gathered in one room for a raucous game of Texas Hold'em, while a couple of others settled in to binge through a Lord of the Rings marathon. I had assumed my fiancée was among the movie crowd, but as it turned out, she and one of her close friends were sitting together in the kitchen, sipping coffee and getting deep into conversation. Our table had run out of soda, so I decided to make a trip to the kitchen to grab some drinks and snacks for everyone. As I rounded the corner, my fiancée's voice floated through the doorway, loud and clear. Before I even entered the room, I distinctly heard her say, "Jason is great, but he will never be the lover that Bill was." As if that wasn't enough, she added with a sigh, "It's not really fair to Jason, though. Bill was just really gifted down there." At first, I seriously considered just turning back, pretending there wasn't any more soda, and returning to my game. But instead, I decided to make my presence known with a little noise as I walked in. Her friend caught a glimpse of me and made a face to alert my fiancé that I'd entered. My fiancé didn't have a clue that I'd overheard their conversation. She just stopped talking and asked me how I was doing, if I was having fun. As tempted as I was to fire back with a sarcastic, "I'm having as much fun as someone who's not gifted down there can," I bit my tongue. I just gave a simple yes, gathered up my drinks and snacks, and finished out the evening as if nothing had happened. But inside, I was reeling. I went to bed that night completely wrecked. I've never been a particularly jealous person, or even really insecure about myself, until that moment. Lying there, I cycled through every emotion imaginable. First anger, then humiliation, then depression, and back around to anger again.
Yeah, I can understand the pain of this individual. First off, I'm going to have to side with the man here. Okay, first off, that girl is out of line for humiliating her man, talking about intimate parts of their relationship. I feel like that should be very private. You know, he can't really help what he was given at birth. So that's not really fair to him. And again, you can't just look, exes are exes for a reason. You got to leave them in the past. They bring them up like this, red flag. The man is absolutely right to have felt this way. But the story gets a little bit better.
I get it, most people think the male ego is silly or even pathetic, women especially, and probably self-assured guys too. Before that night, I would have agreed with them, but once that ego is bruised, damn, it's hard to shake. I tried desperately to hide any trace of emotion about the whole thing. I didn't want her to know just how much I'd been gutted, but the days ticked by and it just ate away at me more and more. I started to avoid her as much as possible, trying to keep my distance. I know she grew suspicious, but she didn't press me about it, at least, not until she tried to initiate sex a few days later. When I rejected her, it wasn't even a conscious choice on my part. I had already decided to suck it up and move forward, but when the moment came, I felt nothing but deep inadequacy and shame. No matter how much either of us tried, nothing was happening. She asked me what was wrong, and I spat out some weak excuse about work stress. She didn't believe a word of it. She wouldn't let it go, either. So there I was, lying naked beside her, totally humiliated and unable to get an erection. That's when I admitted what I'd overheard her say.
It's like the worst time to bring it up. It's like, I know I'll never measure up to Bill. And you're like, your wiener's like just hanging out there, dangling. She's like, yeah, I know.
She absolutely did not take this well. At first, she tried to claim that I must have misunderstood. But I repeated her words back to her, exactly as she'd said them. She couldn't deny it after that, so she switched to apologizing. And to her credit, she listened to what I had to say. Though, in my crumpled emotional state, I doubt I made myself particularly attractive. She tried to reassure me, insisted I was the better man, that I satisfied her, that she didn't want anyone else.
Yeah, obviously none of that is true. And yeah, it seems like you cried. Yeah, that's a fail, dude. He probably should have just disappeared and broke up with her. Instead of crying all nude and shit. It's kind of embarrassing.
But in that moment, I couldn't hear a word she said. To me, it was all just the muted drone of Charlie Brown's teacher. Nearly a month has passed, and I still have zero desire to be with her sexually. None. She's growing frustrated about it too, but nothing I've tried helps me move past it. It's not as if she'd said we were both good lovers or anything. She outright claimed he was far superior, and the way she said gifted down there makes me think Bill was much bigger than me, too. Yeah, I know I can do all sorts of things with my hands, with my tongue, whatever. But there's nothing I can do to change what nature gave me. She won't discuss it with me, says that anything she says now will just make it worse, and even if she said something positive, I probably wouldn't believe her. She's probably right. There's more to this, a history. Bill dumped her, she didn't leave him. Early on in our relationship, she was clear that she wasn't ready to be serious because her previous ex, Bill, left her and broke her heart. If he hadn't dumped her, she would never have walked away. Now, I can't say I believe she'd leave me if he ever came back, but the facts are what they are. Right now, I just...
Yeah, do you see that? That's what the problem is, right? So he got with the alpha widow. And if you're like, dude, that's a horrible feeling to live with. If you could be living all peacefully and happily, and let's just pretend that he never heard that conversation. There's still a very real possibility Bill could just walk into her life again, text her or call her out of the blue while the man is not around, and totally steal her from this guy, because she obviously didn't want to break up with him. So she was dumped, not the guy, not Bill, and yeah, man, you just got to sever, bro. You got to hit the gym or whatever. Maybe get that penis enlargement surgery. I heard that might work. I don't know. I don't have these problems. But I feel really bad for this dude because he was just done so dirty in so many ways. And again, there's really nothing he can do about this. You know, he's been faithful. He's been honorable. He's done everything right in the relationship. But he's not enough. He's not enough for the woman. And he is now living in doubt, living in shame, living in a perpetual state of humiliation. The best course of action is to just leave.
Feel myself checking out of this relationship. I know it's petty, but hearing the love of your life tell someone else they preferred sex with another man is just shattering. Every time she tries to point out my other good qualities, I feel even worse. Saying I'm a good provider, I'll make a great husband, none of it helps. It just makes me feel like a consolation prize.
Yeah, so you're the sucker that she settled for is essentially what he's saying. You know, like I've actually been in this situation, but it's kind of inverted though. There was a girl that I met through a mutual friend of mine. He ended up getting me a job at Costco, and the girl that he knew that I became really close with, like I fell in love with her like right away. We would talk all the time, and I was all about her, and we had all these really extravagant plans for the future. And I remember making a post about her online, and I thought my post was anonymous, but it wasn't. My ex ended up finding it, a different ex, because obviously like I moved on from the girl. We'll call her Sally. So me and Sally were a thing, and I loved her, but it didn't work out for reasons that were out of both of our control. And so I moved on. I met Sally, and Sally ended up seeing these posts. I'm just like, I was talking about, or my ex saw my post about Sally and how much I missed her, and how like we were just so compatible because we liked the same music and all this other stuff. And, like it's just different because like it felt like I met my soulmate. So my ex didn't like that. She was fucking pissed. She was pissed. We fought for like a month over it. Like that kind of shit ruins relationships, just straight up. So yeah.
What if I lost my job, or got injured and couldn't make money anymore? Would she be there for me? At this point, I just feel like some really good friend who she let sleep with her, not her lover, not her equal. I know logically this isn't true, but my heart can't believe it. I don't know where to go from here. If things keep going this way, I might just end up breaking off our engagement, no matter how bitter that feels. Honestly, I'm lost. Before I wrote all of this down, the thing that rattled me most wasn't even what she'd said to her friend. I was honestly more upset that she felt this way at all. But now, after looping the whole thing over and over in my head, I'm actually starting to get aggravated that she shared something so personal about me with a friend. I could never imagine saying anything about her that would make someone see her in a worse light. I know people might think I'm just being an insecure man-child, and maybe I am.
No, you're not.
At least the insecure part. But as for manning up and making it all better, there's just some things I can never change about myself. No matter how hard I try or what I do, I can't change the fact that I'm only 7 inches long. We've even talked about it, back when she was trying to reassure
No, it's not 7 inches long. It's way shorter than that. It's way shorter than that.
me, telling me I was great at everything except for the one thing I can't control. Alright, fine, maybe I've been rounding up a bit for my own confidence. And no, I'm not about to do anything drastic or impulsive. It's already been a month. This isn't some fresh wound, but it's not fair to either of us if I just coast through or stay in this relationship half-hearted. So something has to give, soon. She keeps saying she's sorry that I heard what she said. She says she's sorry she ever said it at all, but deep down I know she wouldn't really be sorry if I'd never overheard her in the first place. It is what it is. I do think she regrets it now because she's been a mess ever since. She tells me that knowing I don't want to be with her is tearing her apart. How much I believe that, I'm not sure, but I can't see any reason she'd lie about that. One thing I do know, this has completely destroyed any Christmas spirit we had. The season's been a wreck. People have asked about my job. I'm an engineer. She's a paralegal. When it comes to her ex, so many people have questions about that too. I'll tell you what I know. We met about 9 months after they broke up. He'd wanted to be with someone else, she told me, though she insists he never cheated. He just ended things clean to pursue the new woman. She approached me at a workshop, and we started dating. By our 4th date, things were getting physical when she suddenly broke down crying about her ex. Nothing prepares you for comforting someone while they cry about another man, but that's exactly what I did. For the next couple of months, we dated on and off. Nothing.
Yeah, well, he should have known better. That's enough of that. Let me read some of these comments. Let's see. Oh my god. Cutting footage of Call of Duty and call the graphics trash. That'd be pretty funny. Chaz, you will find your depression cope. You will find a substance you can use to regulate. No, Friedrich Marx. Don't encourage him. 50 Cent is playing Birog, and none of you even care. I don't know what that is. Should have been LTG bread. She's lying, of course. Don't be like that, Chaz. You probs need some sort of stimulants or have acid trip. Oh my god, no. Mod, regulate promotion of drug use in the chat, please. Chaz, you took the facts, didn't you? I think he did. Try to get him to discuss the allegation against Tila Tequila. Let's see. But just leave it here. What fudge you? Soulmates aren't real. Yes, they are. LLSGO, LSIP move. I know. You just find one person who tolerates you more than everyone else. Your GF or Y visit your family. You only trust family. You don't fuck your family. God, what? Soulmate is real. You found Everclear, didn't you? His GF was cold burning. This is ruined Christmas. I haven't taken Everclear. Yeah, dude. Christmas spirit. Dude, it would ruin my Christmas spirit. Look, if I got humiliated like that, it would ruin my Christmas spirit. I'm just being real with you guys. I'm not sure what happened. Tila Tequila went crazy. She went like full Nazi, I think. I should be drinking right now. Yeah, Cotton Chaz. You should probably quit. Billy Oregon. This is a shapeshifter demon, and her eyes turn black when she cooms. Probably true. Golding it ain't easy. Yeah, Tila Tequila used to be like all the rage. Go Corey Feldman. Yeah, no, I don't look. I remember not Corey. Tila Tequila back in like the MySpace days, and everyone's like, dude, she's like the hottest chick on MySpace, which is debatable, but yeah, dude, she went nuts. I think her music was like pretty mid. So obviously she didn't set the world on fire, and I think she did like some reality TV bullshit, and then she went like full blown Nazi, and she's hanging out with that fruitcake, Richard Spencer, who's a Tolton Layton sexual, but yeah. All right, so what? Hopefully we got one that's like a lot shorter. Oh yeah, there's only 2 minutes. What the fuck is this? Oh shit, hold up.
Have been with my boyfriend, 31. My boyfriend inherited 800 grand in a house, but he is making me pay for half of everything because it is his money. So I decided
Based. Yeah, exactly, dude. Inheritance means it's his money, not yours.
to leave him with all the bills, and now he is furious. I, 29 female, have been with my boyfriend, 31 male, for 6 years. We've built a life together, sharing everything, supporting each other through tough times, and always splitting expenses down the middle. I work as a high school teacher making $45,000 a year, while he used to work as a mechanic earning around $50,000. We weren't rolling in cash, but we made it work as a team. When things got tough, I always had his back. During the pandemic, when his hours were cut, I covered most of the bills without hesitation because I believed we were working toward a shared future. I even gave him a lot of money for this project of reselling these things, which completely failed and almost drove us to bankruptcy. I never made him feel guilty, because that's what you do when you love someone. A few months ago, everything changed. His estranged uncle passed away and left him $800,000 in cash and a fully paid vacation home in Colorado. I was genuinely thrilled for him. I thought this could be a turning point for both of us. I imagined a future where we could finally breathe a little easier, maybe even start planning for a family or at least escape our cramped apartment. But instead of bringing us closer, the money created a huge divide. The moment the inheritance hit his account, he told me outright that it was his money and that I wasn't entitled to any of it. I didn't.
Based. Why would he feel the need to say that? He didn't just say that out of the blue, did he? I'm gonna be real with you guys. Money changes people in ways you could not even imagine. I've seen it play out in real time, especially when inheritance is involved. It fucking changes people. They turn into fucking monsters, and they become overly entitled. Here's a funny story. It doesn't really involve inheritance, but it's kind of similar to this situation. So this is back when I was a new banker. So before I became a banker, I was a teller. So when I was a teller, for about like a year-ish, maybe less than a year, and I passed my probation. It was like 60 days or whatever. It was really easy, and they lifted the hiring freeze. So this is when like Obama was president. So the economy was dog shit. I was lucky to have a job, a decent one at that, and they were offering $750 bonuses if you got somebody hired, because we were hiring like crazy all of a sudden. I'm like, all right. So one of my best friends, I shouldn't have said that. One of my friends, I got him the job. And prior to him working, not necessarily with me because he worked at a different branch, he was struggling to find work. So like me being a bro, I helped the bro out. I got him the job. And I don't remember if I told him I was going to get the $750. But one day it like slipped or something, like it just came out. I remember I emailed the HR department. I'm just like, hey, so-and-so has been working for well over the probationary period. Can I get hooked up? They're like, yeah, we got you. So I got $750. And he was like, so I don't know how I told him or how he found out, but he was like, you should give me some of that money. Like, bro, dude, you got a job. Like, how dare you start asking me for something that doesn't belong to you? Like, I helped you out. Like, you needed the job, and like, you're not even grateful. You're being an asshole about it. And we didn't talk for like a couple weeks, and he got over it. I'd never surrendered the money, but like, that is like, imagine that scenario on steroids. And now it involves deceased family members and like houses and real estate and probate. This dude got $800,000 in real estate property. And the dude says, this is my money. You are not entitled to any of it. People don't just say that shit, because that's some really hard shit to say to somebody. They don't just say that out of the blue. They said that because they had to put your ass in check. So I feel like the woman is lying here.
Didn't expect a handout, but I thought we'd share the burden a little more fairly, especially since I carried us when he couldn't. Instead, he quit his job, decided he was retired, and now spends his days gaming and treating himself to luxuries like expensive meal kits and new gadgets, while I'm still working long hours and paying half the bills. He even jokes that he's living the dream, while I'm exhausted every day trying to make ends meet. The final straw came last week when my car broke down. The repair bill was $900. More than I could afford without seriously cutting back. I swallowed my pride and asked if he could help, thinking after all we'd been through, it wouldn't be a big deal. He laughed and said, "You've always been independent, you got this." I was hurt. After
Dude, as soon as he stopped working, he's like watching fucking Andrew Tate, Andrew Wilson. He's probably watching the fucking Warband. And he's like, you know what? She's got that feminist mindset. She's got that boss queen, boss babe mindset. She's got this. Finally a man doesn't get shit on and gets a little bit of a slice of paradise. Let me just relax, let me just sit back. I'm going to let her be a boss babe, boss queen, be independent. And, she needs anything from me, I'll be in the bedroom or in the living room playing Call of Duty. And, oh, it's great. I like this guy. I want to shake his hand.
After years of supporting him emotionally and financially, the second he had the means to make life easier for both of us, he left me hanging. So, I told him if his money is his, then the bills are his too. I'm done paying my share. Now he's calling me selfish and accusing me of using him. But honestly, I'm tired of feeling like a room.
Yeah, you don't get to just like live in another person's house and just be like, or like share a space and the dude pay for everything if that's just not the arrangement. I mean, like, I kind of sort of understand where she's coming from, but I don't know. Just be like, oh, well, all of a sudden all the bills are yours just because you have more money than I do. Yeah, it's not really how that works, but okay.
Roommate while he lives like a king. So, am I the butthole for refusing to keep paying half the bills when he's sitting on a fortune and I'm barely keeping my head above water?
If you step on this
Well, yeah, you're a fucking loser. I don't know what to tell you. I think you suck. Oh, that was a great one. Let me see. Oh, let me read some of these comments here. All right. Chat. We got sad Chaz in the chat. Sudden money changes you if you're a fucking a flesh at it. Just solidify your life and relax. Don't be a woman with your money. 800K is too little. Dude is gonna lose it quick if he keeps spending like that. Yeah, Drill. I 100% agree with you. I mean, like, look, it's kind of funny now to laugh, but if we're being real though, I mean, 800K is a lot of money. It's life-changing money, of course. But dude, the guy needs to, set aside some of that, put it in an IRA, maybe a little bit into savings, and I would utilize a lot of that money and buy up real estate, or at least wait until the prices keep going down. Out here in the valley where I live, the prices are all going down, all across the board. Fantastic. If you're going to be buying, especially with cash, you can probably get away with, you could probably get a good deal. Right now, it's both the buyers and the sellers market. Seller, if you're reasonable. It's really bad for the people who ended up buying at the height of the price hikes for homes. Those guys are not going to make out like bandits. But if you're trying to buy something reasonable, I think you can really make a good deal. And if you've held on to a property and you're now just looking to get it off your hands, you can sell it at a profit without being outrageous. But with 800K, what I'm trying to suggest is, like, he's got to do something with that money. You don't want to just sit in there. You got to do smart things with it. There's plenty of, like index funds or whatever, all the basic financial shit. He needs to be doing it. Just sitting around playing video games. Well, again, that does sound kind of appealing. I don't think it's a long-term solution. He really should be saving that money, and he should be working. I mean, at the very least, work part-time, maybe, start taking, try to get, certificates or get some sort of formal training, for working on, like, let's say foreign cars or electric cars, really expand your knowledge base, upskill. That's always what I preach, is upskilling. So the guy's obviously not upskilling playing video games. However, the scenario is hilarious, and I am largely on the guy's side, but he's not making the right financial decisions. I'd sell my body for 800K. Kite and Chaz, what kind of things would you allow for someone to do to you for 800K? Kite and Chaz, I want to see something in the chat. Live smart and be frugal as fuck, like a man. Ash Blackwin, I 100% agree. I think living frugal is the right thing to do. The science. No, not the science. Fuck science. So what is this? I think this is my last one. Whatever. Here we go. Oh, whoops.
Rest of the party just sitting and talking to one another. It really felt like we were the only two people there, and as the night ended she told me that she really enjoyed talking to me and asked me for my number, which was a first for me. I awoke the next morning to a text from her telling me how much she enjoyed talking with me and wanted to know if I would be interested in getting together to talk some more. I agreed, and that next weekend we met at a local bookstore/coffee house where we proceeded to spend 5 hours talking until the shop kicked us out because they were closing. Not once in either of the conversations did we talk about anything romantic or love or anything like that. It was everything from philosophy to economics to religion and everything in between. Once again she tells me she has had a great time and asks if we can do this again. We set a time for the next weekend and same exact thing happens again. This goes on for 3 more times and I am very confused as to what this is. Are we just friends getting together to talk? Is this going anywhere else? I had no idea. She sends me a text that week prior to meeting telling me that I am the easiest person she has ever talked to and that she feels totally comfortable and safe being with me. So finally at the end of the next day when she says she wants to do this again, I just said that I was curious as to what she considered these times together as. I asked if we are just friends or was there a possibility of being more? She said that she really enjoyed our time together and would like to see where it goes. Next time we are...
Yeah, dude, what if Jack Murphy offered you 800K? Are you still interested?
Together as we were talking I kind of reached out and took her hand and we held hands for the first time for several minutes. I tell her at the end of this night that next time I would like to do something different with her and took her to the movies. Things went well and during the movie I put my arm around her and she laid her head on my shoulder. As we parted that night I gathered up my courage and leaned in to give her a kiss goodnight. Her response was not what I expected. She actually withdrew from my attempt and I immediately apologized to her and felt like a total heel. She said that I didn't need to apologize but she was just a little shocked as she wasn't expecting it. I quickly apologized again and withdrew for the night embarrassed beyond belief. She texted me the very next day saying she was sorry about the night before. She really liked me and wants to move that direction in our relationship but she wanted to take things slow. I replied saying that I was willing to go at whatever speed she wanted and again apologized because I felt really bad. Now mind you, while I said I was willing to go at her speed, and I was, but I was really confused by what taking it slow meant. We had been seeing each other once a week for hours at a time for over 2 months. But being very inexperienced in the relationship game, only had...
Yeah, so here's what he did wrong. All right, so obviously the girl was at least to some degree attracted to the dude, and he had ample opportunities to seal the deal, and he didn't. He just wanted to sit around and talk. It's too much of this. less action. The girl felt like you were wasting. Dude, she gave you all the opportunities. You didn't take any of them. I mean, that's really what happened here. So this is why the guy was so confused, and that's what she was confused too. She's probably like, why isn't he making a move? Isn't it obvious that I like him? And yeah, so he complains about this later on, I
A
think.
GF in high school and went out on dates in college, but mostly as friends and nothing ever lasted. I just thought I would let her take the lead. We went out 2 more times, and then at the beginning of our next date, she actually greeted me with a kiss. From there, our relationship advanced at what I consider a normal pace. A year and a half later, we were living together, and everything was going great. That is until 2 weeks ago, she had to pick me up at my work because my car was in the shop. She pulled up and was sitting in the car, and one of my coworkers who I'm friendly with came out with me as he was leaving at the same time. I introduced them from a distance, but clearly within view of each other. They waved hello and we left. The next day I came back and he said he wanted to make sure there wasn't going to be a problem between the two of us. I asked him why would there be, and he said she didn't say anything to you. I said she did not, and he said well, it was a couple of years ago, so she may not even remember him, and then he proceeds to tell me that they matched up on Tinder and would hook up with each other, and it went on for a few months before we started dating his current girlfriend. I told him that it might have been a different person, and he then proceeds to show me her Tinder profile. I've never used the site before, so I wasn't sure how to look at anything, but he said it does not look like she is active on there now and hasn't been for a while. But the fact of the matter was that for sure it was her, and to make matters worse, I didn't tell him this, but the time frame that he was saying was also some of the same time we were together in the beginning. The times I was rebuked for leaning in for a kiss and quit possibly even after this. He could tell this was bothering me and he apologized, but said that I needed to know that they were never dating or anything, it was just getting together to have sex, as though I was supposed to be okay with that. He didn't want to.
Yeah, that's not really helpful. That actually makes it even worse. So yeah, like I said, you know, you had your chance and you didn't seize upon it. I mean, this is why my strategy it's really simple. You know, like you're on Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, Christian Mingle, JDate, whatever that I'm on. I'm just like, look, I think you're kind of cool. Let's hang out right now. You know, don't waste any time. Don't waste any time. I'm going to bed. Good night. You know what, Chaz? I hope you have a good night, man, and I hope you're thinking about what you and Jack Murphy would do.
Say much else, but he said that I should know that he knows for a fact that he wasn't the only one. Needless to say, this all upset me greatly, but I didn't know what to do or how to handle this. It was eating away at me, and I did something I probably shouldn't have done, but we share an Outlook calendar and have for over a year so that we can plan our events. While she was gone, I looked at her laptop and found her Outlook, which was nothing more than what we shared. However, I noticed she had a separate calendar and it was not password protected. I went back on her calendar, even though I knew it was wrong, and sure as shit there was his first name, and yes, for fact some of those dates were after we were already past the getting to know you stage. But wait, there's more. Not only was his name there, but there were several other guys' names. There were weeks where she had a different name on every day of the week and twice had 2 names on weekend days. What made me the sickest of all though was looking at the weeks where we were early on in our relationship, when I had to basically be afraid to hold her hand, that she was meeting with other guys that week, and even one time earlier in the day when we met. How do I know this, you might ask? My name was on there as well. Now it does appear that about 5 months after we started dating the names mostly stopped, and by a year and there were no more names. But what really sucks is that one guy's name is on there more than others, and this is a guy who she has brought to our house on more than one occasion and introduced us. She has never once told me that they were ever sexual partners. In fact, that is what kind of pisses me off about all of this. Frankly, if I didn't know any of this, I would tell you she was a prude. Sex is very vanilla and I always have to initiate it. However, she just told me not more than a month ago that she feels like I'm her soulmate and she loves me with all of her heart. This is causing me a lot of pain, to be honest. I don't think I can live with this. The fact that I had to wait for months to even kiss and hold hands while all along she was getting sex from a variety of people makes me feel like absolute shit. The fact that I honestly was beating myself up after trying for a kiss really pisses me off. Then there is a part of me that says I'm not good enough. Sure, she may enjoy my personality or whatever, but obviously I am not attractive enough for her to want to be with me early on. Really bothers me. I mean, it would be one thing if she did all of this before we met, but there are names marked clearly after we were involved, just before we moved in together. Including the guy I work with. I have yet to confront her. I don't know what I'm going to do or say. There is a very large part of me that just wants out of this. I feel like she is not the person she portrayed herself to be. Oh, believe me, she is a very judgmental person and has tons of opinions and comes across as holier than thou, even though she is not religious per se. Has anyone else ever had to deal with this?
Yeah, man, you just wasted your time, and you wasted her time. Where is my key? All right, let's go back to Twitter really quick. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens, man. If you're too slow, man, someone else is gonna come by and, you know, satisfy the needs of the woman. If you just want to sit around and talk about fucking Star Wars or whatever. Are you gonna bark all day? What the fuck is this? I agree. The left went too far left, targeting ICE agents and others. The right won't tolerate it. If you play too rough in the schoolyard, expect to fight. So unfortunately, for these people, someday somebody's gonna find them. Not me, but it'll happen. Just look at baseball, Karen. Okay, nobody responded to me. Let me see. Do I have anything funny in my bookmarks? No. Oh yeah, there's a Black Lives Matter thing. Ugh. Why? People should know better. Oh no. What the fuck? We even for George Floyd? Unfortunately, you can't vote your way out of this too. Yeah, guys, I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, but things are changing really rapidly because of this this cute little pizza girl from Ukraine. Jesus. She still wants him just as a Bucks. Yeah, probably. Star Wars is fun to talk about. No, it is not. All right, dude. Brad Skagg, you are baiting me. I'm not going to take that fucking bait. This is like the whatchamacallit, the Joker shit. I'm just not gonna fall for it. What are we at right now? We're exactly at 2 hours. Yay. All right, so I am tired as hell. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. And I gotta be up early because I gotta meet with some contractors. We gotta do. We gotta finish this fucking remodel, man. I gotta do a I got a puppet to build, and I got 2 of them to build right now. I gotta. Oh, I'm just so busy, guys. I just want my life back, man. I'm like getting invited to go out and stuff, and like, it's all gonna be worth it, you know. I just gotta think, you know, like, look, life is really hard sometimes, and there's gonna be points in your life where like all these responsibilities just fall in your lap at once, and you know, it could be worse. It could be worse. I really shouldn't complain. Hopefully, I don't come off as complaining. All I can say to myself is that it's gonna be worth it. All this is gonna be worth it, and I can't wait to commit to this again because I haven't made real content in quite a while. I don't feel like the streaming counts. So yeah. Other than that, it was great to talk with you guys. It's great to see everybody. And except Zombie Bomb, she can go fuck herself. I'm kidding. No, I hope everybody is well. Hope everybody's healthy. Hope everybody is upskilling. And you know what, guys? Start enrolling and signing up to join ICE. Apparently, over 100,000 people have signed up to join. Zombie Bomb, good night, Miss Geo. Shut your fucking mouth, goddamn slut. Giovanni's failing the games of life and the game of living. Sheesh. No, not really. I mean, I'm doing great. Madame Geo. God damn it, you guys. Stop it. All right, yeah. Peace out, everybody. Peace out. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a special stream maybe this weekend or something if I'm free. We'll see. We'll see. All right, everybody. Peace out.